Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za.
What up?
Hello, people. We are connected. This is the Geeks Connect show. Welcome to another edition of Geeks Connect. It's the end of the month, man.
Yeah, it's
August.
the end of the month.
The year is over.
Dude,
I
like
can't believe this.
it's about to go crazy.
Yeah.
December is on the
Yeah.
corner.
And how are those New Year's resolution coming along?
They're coming along well. One of my biggest New Year's resolution was to not make a New Year's resolution about going to gym. So at least I've managed to keep one, New Year's resolution. So really proud of myself right there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be talking.
On a positive note, I did walk into the gym.
Oh, you did walk into the gym.
Yeah, I needed to go and collect my lost card. So.
I tried to challenge you at the hotel because we're currently in Cape Town this week. I tried to challenge him that we take the stairs instead of the lift. This guy.
No, I don't like wasting energy. There's a lot of things that needs to be done out there, and we cannot afford to exhaust energy just like that.
Anyway, what did you turn up to this week?
The Nelson Mandela. The 67 days of coding.
For Mandela.
For Mandela program, Deep Salute. And also the blockchain event at
that was exciting, eh? It was
Futuristic.
interesting. Futuristic.
Yes.
And futuristic is the keyword. And also shout out to the girls in Kimberley for hosting the NCDev Women in Tech event. So it's called the NCDev Women Summit, aimed at getting young females involved in shaping up the province in terms of its future, in terms of innovation, entrepreneurship, science and technology. And that was hosted by the Geek Culture Student Society at Sol Plaat University and the Engineers Without Borders at Sol Plaat University. So it was quite interesting. And we're currently at the PSI Hackathon.
Yes, interesting vibe. We'll give you guys more feedback on that the next time we're back on radio.
Are you surviving? Did those Red Bulls keep you up?
Yeah, no. I've learned how to have enough Red Bulls, not have a lot of Red Bull. I drink lots of water, by the way. Like always, lots of water. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hashtag health. What health? What?
Yeah. Anyway, it is the end of the month, meaning that we talk all things social media, all things digital marketing. We look at the trends as well. But quite an interesting trend last week, hey? About that guy. What's his name? What's his name, Misha? The guy who's trending for racism things.
Yes, the Adam guy.
Adam, yes.
Look.
Did you see the power of Twitter?
Look, Twitter is madness. Twitter is the best investigation platform. They can find literally anything to point to your ID. I saw this other one. They're like, look, here's his number. You guys can WhatsApp him to contact him and whatnot. They found his ID, his home. They found a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So, guys, we're throwing out a lot of information out ourselves.
Yes, Twitter is brutal. It's a crazy world out there. But we brought someone cool today to give you a little bit of tutorials, like how to make sure that you are safe, because you've got Black Twitter, you've got CSI Twitter, you've got Misho Twitter.
I was about to say got Diani Twitter. So yes. Make sure you're safe. And I think today we've got the right guest in studio. Lots of information, lots of things worth learning. So do drop your questions if you do have any questions. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of questions to ask.
Yes, hashtag Geeks Connect at Brand Live Radio at Geek Culture. And let's welcome our guest before us today. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Firstly, who's sitting before us today?
This guy's putting me under pressure. Like what? Really? We've got Nelisa.
What's his surname? What's his surname?
We've got, ladies and gentlemen, today, Nelisa Ngqulana. Yes.
Got it right.
Yes. So she does a lot of things within the social media PR space. But let me not take the shine away from her. Let her introduce herself and tell us what is it that she does. Get to know her a little bit.
Yeah. Madam.
Okay. So I guess it's over to me.
Yes, ma'am.
So my name is Nelisa Ngqulana.
What?
Ngqulana.
Yo.
You had it right, actually.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
It's Xhosa.
Are you so proud of yourself right now, Misha?
Definitely.
Okay.
So, yes, my name is Nelisa Ngqulana. I run and own a PR agency called PR Trends ZA. So we focus a lot on PR, reputation management, crisis management. We consult and advise people on how to manage themselves and their brands across beyond social media. Yes, so I also own another company called Media Factory Africa, which is a virtual newsroom that connects journalists in rural areas to news editors.
Wait, so you guys connect journalists in rural areas?
Yes.
To
news editors.
To news editors.
So if you are in
Oh.
DR and a story
Okay.
breaks out, you can sell that story to a newsroom.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? So how do you check if the story is authentic? How do you manage that part?
So so obviously the people we work with are actual journalists.
Mm.
So credibility first is there. So we verified our journalists. We know where they are because we've seen where they live. We've been with them. And the application that we use has a geolocator, so we can verify where a person is. Yes.
You know, there was a concept that was quite the thing. It was hot in 2013. Citizen journalism. Yes.
Yes. So the idea for Media Factory is kind of an evolved idea of concept from citizen journalism. Well, citizen journalism was not a trend; it's still a thing.
Oh.
Yes. So
Citizen journalism is quite powerful.
yeah. So journalism for me is a huge fascination. I studied journalism. I ended NPR by complete accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many years ago.
You know, no, I read a report that says that 70% of journalists actually get their story first on social media, or 70%.
Mostly on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and beyond that, most journalists, producers get content from us because we sell them stories about our clients. So a lot of the stuff that you see is stuff that they either pick up on Twitter, of course, but majority. I actually saw some U.S. report about how about 63% of news stories that you see in their channels, those come from PR people.
How does one jump into that space? Like, here I am.
How do you jump in?
Yes, I've got a phone. Like, I think I can write. I'm credible, I think. How do I become part of this network or this?
So so you just email us and you get in touch with us on Facebook or on Twitter in Daba Network, and then and then you find us, or you just drop us an email on mediafactoryafrica@gmail.com, and then we will then do the checks, and then once you're verified, you become part of the network.
Do you have any particular field, or is it just stories?
So it's stories across the board. So we have different content creators. So we have journalists, who write. So we have photojournalists. We have podcasters, radio content producers. We have videographers. So across the board.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I thought I was here to speak PR.
No, we're warming up. Look, before we jump into it, we need to get to know what is it that you're doing. But
Yes.
this is fascinating what you're saying. I mean, there are people out there who probably want to jump into this space
Yeah, sure.
and don't know much information. I mean, there's someone who's thinking, I can actually sell my story.
Yeah.
And here's a plug.
For sure. No, absolutely. I mean, I think for me, how I got back into actually working on the story, I was on a journalism fellowship program at Wits called Jam Lab, which looks at investigating bringing entrepreneurship, innovation, and journalism together. So how do we build new platforms using technology? How do we build new audiences, like new platforms for new audiences? For example, in the continent, most people experience technology via phone first
Yeah.
before, so your phone is kind of like a big space for that. So my concept that I then worked on as part of the fellowship was looking at how can we get unemployed young journalists who live far away from Cape Town, Joburg, or Durban, because in South Africa, if you want to have a successful journalism career, you need to be close to those places, and on top of that, you need to know the right people. So not many people know where to start selling a story, who to contact. And on the other side, with newsrooms, a lot of the time, if a story breaks out, they're like, do we know anyone in DR? And like, no, we don't have anyone. So they move on and the story doesn't get covered. And as a result, we see, a lot of the stories that we see are very biased depending on where news channels have people. So for me, it was to try and find a gap between making sure that the element of citizen journalism gets carried out in terms of young people get to tell their own community stories in their own way, using obviously national channels.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it. PR.
Sure.
Yes.
Firstly, what is PR though?
So PR, in a very, 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 very simple explanation, is about managing your relationship with your different communities. It's about making sure that you get your organization's messages to the right people using the right channels, right? So if I am selling cell phones for teenagers, right? So I need to understand, where do teenagers find information? Where do they read up about things? And then I tailor my messaging to find them where they are. So, if my brand then will probably be on Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram, because that's where a lot of I'll find a lot of teenagers. So it's about understanding what is my organization's message and who does it need to reach. How do I find those people? Do they listen to the radio? Do they watch TV? What do they watch on TV? How do I connect with them?
Does one really need PR? Do organizations really need PR?
Yes, they do, especially nowadays. Through PR, you can manage how people see you. So you can be proactive about how people see your business, what kind of reputation your business has nowadays. Especially, look at what has happened with this Adam guy. So many people have now been associated with racism by, some connections are so flimsy.
Poor kids as well.
The kids, the wife's job.
Sure.
So if you don't, for example, if those organizations didn't have PR people and our only and all we saw was just, actually, this guy has a connection to Nike. Then in our heads, we're like, we don't even know what the relationship is with Nike. We're like, I'm going to stop buying Nike because Nike is racist.
Yeah.
So by having PR people on the other end, you're able to say, look, this is not who we're about. You're able to explain the relationship, be honest about it. If you have a relationship, yes, we have a relationship. If not, no, we don't. So it's a way of you being proactive about what are people saying about me, how are people understanding what I say, what I put out there, so that you can manage, the gap between what your intention, as in your intention is generally, I want people to see me as this particular person, and people will obviously perceive it differently. People don't always understand what we put out in the way that we intended it to be. So it's a way of you managing your perception versus the distance between your intention and your perception.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are chatting to Nelisa. On Twitter, she calls herself Babes Pay Attention. We'll hear more about that, but for now, let's take a quick ad break.
You're listening to brandlive.co.za.
The unique experience. Living as One Events presents relationship talks, drama, Q&A sessions,
music, love stories, ladies and gents session, and lots more. Registration fee at 150 Rand.
happening at Bread of Life Foundation Venue, Honeydew Shopping Center, Bayers Nordia Drive, corner Blueberry Drive, Unit 66, Laser Park, Honeydew. Saturday, 15 September at 11 a.m. RSVP on 072-851-8702.
Whether you're an athlete or just going about your day-to-day business, use Turbo Freeze on the go for any pain relief or inflammation. It's the #1 pain relief formula. To find out more, log on to our website www.turbofreeze.co.za.
Harnessing the power of talk radio. Brandlive.co.za.
Are we?
Yes, you connected?
Oh yeah, you're still tuned into the Geeks Connect show. We're broadcasting live in one of the boxes, at 27 boxes. My name is Nelisa Ngqulana. I'm the guy with the cool shirt, hanging with Misho Ngobeni, and
Who told you to cool shirt?
Your shirt is cool because it's got Star Wars.
yes, thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, we're hanging with Madam Upebs of Petition. Do you want to take us through that?
Sure.
Why are you known as that?
So in 2016, while I was doing some work for an organization called Activate, we did a series of articles on the crime stats that came out, and so the minister releases crime stats every year around August, September. So national crime stats, and so we were looking at the connection between young people and crime in South Africa. So like how much of that was attributed to young people, and then so during the research and reading through some of the articles the team was writing, I picked up that Nyanga was the murder capital and had been the murder capital for like about 5 years running at that, up until that time, like 2016. And so I then started asking myself, like, why is this the case? How is this even happening? And why is the minister even explaining it as we don't have enough police stations in Nyanga? Like, what the hell? What is up with that? So for me, it was a bit personal as well, because I am from Nyanga. I grew up there, born there. So then I decided to ask Patricia DeLille a couple of questions on Twitter about the stats, because she was mayor at the time, or still is, and her response, I was not convinced by her response. And then I tweeted Helen Zilla, and then she didn't respond. And then I was like, what to do? Then I I knew of Amandla.mobi because I know Koketso.
Oh yes.
And then so out of frustration and I guess a little bit of anger, I started a petition on Amandla about it, and then so the idea was really just to raise awareness about the fact that there's so much that our government should be doing and can do in that community, but that they were just not doing it. So it was just really to raise awareness. And in fact, actually, at the time, when the reason why I called myself that was because there was a wave, like Babes Otumo was very popular that
Like,
year,
why not?
and everyone was babes of something.
What were you babes of, Misha?
No, I wasn't.
Babes were geekness.
No, babes are my hackathons.
Babes were hackathons, exactly. So then, so I needed a name that would catch on quickly.
Did it?
And yeah, I did. I mean, so I managed to get quite a lot of, I managed to make quite a lot of noise about it. A lot of people jumped onto it, and some people put pressure on Helen Zilla. Eventually, she got in touch, and then we started talking. got a lot of media coverage out of it, and I started, obviously, I got approached by a couple of other organizations that were already working in that space, because there's a court case running against the minister and the provincial government in Western Cape about this very same issue. So they brought me on board, and then I became part of that of that community. So the petition is still running. We're still raising awareness because the court case is still happening, and the minister. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has happened towards getting us closer. 3 ministers later, there is now a piece of land. There is now some budget that's been allocated towards the police station. We're just waiting for the building to start.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's quite interesting. The girl next door is always wanting to trend. She loves trending.
Please make it trend so we can get to know her.
Okay, but how does one get to trend? How does that work?
So, so I think the first thing with trending, it's a bit difficult to predict. However, if you have something that's catchy, as in it connects with people, and you are able to make people see themselves in it and want to share it. So the biggest element of it is people need to be able to connect with your content, and they must want to share it, because that's how you spread the word. So if I'm like, that's really cool, I want to do that, I want to be part of that action, because humans are inherently selfish, and they wanna see themselves in stuff. So biggest thing is make it short, sweet. If it's a video, no longer than 1:30, do it quickly. Invite. I mean, video is very it's good at inviting, or really create like a creative campaign that will make it easy for people to share.
Okay, so there's this trending, right?
So that's like making something viral.
You get the likes, you get the audience and whatnot. I'm interested in the part, how does one go about capitalizing on something like that, maybe from a monetary point of view? I mean, now we're talking to a bunch of young techies who probably want to trend or want their app to trend and whatnot, and they're looking at different ways of monetizing that. I mean, it's great you trend, people talk about you, but what's the output of that?
So I think, we spoke earlier about wanting how to capture an audience. So the reason why you obviously have a PR strategy and a PR plan in place is for you to be able to work out something like that. So, okay, cool, we're going to launch this. I have a robot, like I've created a robot or whatever, and I want to... I want to illustrate how the robot works by getting people to try my robot out. So when you are planning your execution, you need to decide at what point do you want to kind of like curtail. So you want it to be a teaser so that people want to find out more, and then you need to plug people in back to you, because you need to be able to capture that audience somehow. So either A, use it as a lead generation to understand, okay, so who would be interested in my product? So plug in some kind of lead generation element to it, or put a price to, if you want to find out more, you need to pay more at this point. So that's why you need to plan your interactions quite strategically, so that you don't, if you have a car, people don't get to experience everything about the car, and they're like, actually, I don't want to buy it. You want them to walk in and be like, wow, but they're not allowed to touch anything. In order for them to touch stuff, this is what they need to do. They either need to pay, or they either need to, or whatever the case may be, or you offer a discount or that kind of thing. So you need to have a plan in place before, so that you don't just out of excitement.
It's not all about, today I feel like posting. I just randomly post.
No.
It's planned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because you see, so the thing with PR is about, 80% of the work is about telling your story. So it's about using your channels to tell the story of your brand, how why you started your brand, how it works and why it's important, or why it's useful, etc., so that people can understand what is the backstory. So the difference between, for example, marketing and PR. With marketing, you're like, here's a bottle of water, it's 50 cents, right? But with PR, it's like you look at, while we were taking a hike during the break in the hackathon, we discovered the spring and we were like, tasted the water. It was amazing, and we wanted the world to experience what this spring in Kimberley is, right? And we decided to bottle it and bring it to people, and here it is now, right? Then you tell the story of how you bottled, maybe the bottle is made out of special plastic, that's whatever. So you tell the story so that people understand the context of what is the vision behind this brand, what is the mission behind this brand, so that people fall in love with you and they connect with your brand, and then they're like, yes, I want to buy that bottle of water over Valpre or whatever.
Yeah, the other ones.
Yeah.
The
other ones.
So you mentioned the sort of like difference. How do I then go about connecting the two, marketing and PR?
So
and in that place, where does social media play a role within the two?
Social media is a great space to marry the two, because on social media you can simply be like, I am Nelisa, I do PR. By PR, I mean I write for you, I pitch you to media, blah, 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 and this is how much it will cost you. But on the other end, we look at me explaining, like I'm here now, explaining what PR is about, why you need it, and how it connects to your business. So those are the two different elements. So you're telling the story of your water, and then at the same time, you're able to say, hey guys, we're having a special. Hey guys, we're doing, we're at a market, or whatever the case may be. So that's you selling, literally like marketing a product and saying you can get a discount, you can buy for however much. And then on the other side, you are telling the story of your brand. So social media helps you to be able to share your whole person, so that people can see. So who are the faces behind geek culture, right? So they get to meet you, they get to be with you at your events, and they can understand what it is that you do because they experience you doing it. They also get to see who are the different people that you work with. So you work with women, not just women only. You also interact a lot with government. You work with different stakeholders, so people get to see, oh, okay, cool. These are the kinds of people these guys work with. Maybe they might be keen to work with me because whatever the case may be. So social media allows you a free, to an extent, platform to share the wide spectrum of like what your business is about, who you are, what you're selling, and what you're doing. So when you're on social media, obviously you then need to be very conscious about how much of what I do I share. So for example, sometimes you may end up just talking about your product only all the time, but you don't talk about the people behind it. You don't take people behind the scenes so they can see what goes into bottling our water. Who are the people behind, what causes do you support, so that people can understand what are your values, and things like that. So you need to be very conscious of how much and how little of yourself you're putting out there, and also try to understand, are people getting like a 360 view of who I am and what my business is about and what my business is not about.
Okay. We'll be talking about South Africans online shortly, but let's just take another break.
You're listening to brandlive.co.za.
Hey Bonang, how are you?
Hi Tuli, look so beautiful. Hey, long time no see. What happened to your skin, by the way? The last time I saw you, you had a lot of blemishes and breakouts. It was so terrible, man.
Wow, thanks for that, Bonang. Luckily, I discovered DMK. Have you heard of DMK?
DMK? Who are they?
DMK is a paramedical skincare brand that specializes in all skin conditions. Would you like their number?
Yes, please.
I know you're not good at numbers, so let me give you their website address because your skin looks terrible. It's www.dmkskincare.co.za.
Brandlive.co.za.
Sure, we're not supposed to keep things basic and we gotta go next level.
I come in your windows, you know you cannot lock this. The whole time I cock this, it's monstrous like the Loch Ness. It's just the softest on heart, just like a rock is. Making all the ruckus, you still black, my G. Now tell me what the flop is, why hating me for my darkness? Tell me what the shock is, your timing and where the clock is. Oh my God!
Brandlive.co.za.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still tuned into the Geeks Connect show. We are broadcasting.
I got this. We are broadcasting at the 27 boxes on air. It's a box. What do you say? What do you like to say?
Oh my God. We're broadcasting live in one of the boxes
Inside
at
a
27
box.
boxes. So that we're broadcasting in a box that you can actually think outside of this box. But today...
Are there actually 27 boxes? Or is this just an
It's 27 boxes.
Is it okay? Is that true?
Yes.
Do you know that to be true for a fact?
There are boxes.
There are boxes.
Okay.
Yes, for number 27.
But today, this is a virtual box because we are in Cape Town, technically.
Yes. So yes, there are boxes. I mean, we're trying to create a PR story here in terms of the nice boxes and what you can do within them.
It's a nice box.
Yes.
It's blue.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about South Africans online. Who are the type of people that you think are the right people to follow in terms of influence for positivity, maybe?
Yeah.
Besides
So.
babes with petition.
So I think it's good to understand who's influential in your space, like in your sector. So across the board, as in thought leaders, as in who's the person that you look up to in your industry. So you need to understand who are those people. So that's not just on Twitter only. That's on LinkedIn. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram. Across the board, you need to be able to join in the conversations that are related to your industry, because when you engage there, it's a good way obviously to network. It's a good way to share your thoughts and even your skills and what you're doing in that space. So and it's also good when you're attending industry events to share that so that people can see. So I think it, in terms of who to follow, it really depends on in the industry that you're in and who you consider as influential. It's also important to understand who publishes information, so who has a platform. So geek culture in obviously in your space is good. Good people to follow, because Misho shares a lot of opportunities for people, so that's something good to share. You guys host a lot of events, that's good to share. You have a radio platform that's good to share. So if you can get the geek culture's attention, they can invite you and you get to talk about what you do and reach a wider audience. So it's always good to have a look at who's bigger than me, as in who has a bigger reach. Understand which hashtags are important in your space so that you can start linking yourself there, because if your hashtag is if your industry hashtag is popular, you can, when somebody clicks on that hashtag, they'll see you as part of that. So it's so it mustn't be blind. You need to understand who matters, and who matters is not necessarily about how many followers they have, because influence isn't about numbers.
Yeah.
Influence is about reach and engagement.
Okay.
Because a person might have 500 followers, but when they put something out, that thing really
500 followers actually.
Yeah, and
Or
also that,
500.
and that, like a person might have 500 followers, but when they put something out, right, the engagement on that thing reaches so many people, like thousands or even millions of people sometimes. So don't look at numbers only, and don't look at how popular they are, as in are they a celebrity or not, because celebrities usually have somebody else managing their accounts. And also, if somebody has 1 million followers, they actually don't have time. Imagine those notifications. Imagine how much engagement, how many DMs that person gets. So, and that's just on Twitter alone, on Instagram and Facebook. So, yeah.
I just want to get your thoughts on this. So, I've got, well, not me, but someone out there, let's just say they've got 100,000 followers, right?
Yes.
Does that mean anything? Is there value to that as brands, number one? Number two, is there still value if you have 100,000 followers and when you post something and only 500 people retweet or engage with that?
So question one, by virtue of numbers, you have reach. I mean, that's just the way a lot of the algorithms work. That obviously, if I have 100,000 followers versus your 100, when I post something, it will reach a lot. It will reach a lot of people. Whether people engage with it or not, that's a different thing. So that works for brands if you just want to sell something. So if I'm selling shoes and I'm doing a special today, and I just want people to buy the shoes on special. So if you post on your Instagram and you have 18,000 followers, people will see it, and that's what you want to see. Sometimes that's just really what you want to see. And then your second question was related to influence.
So I've got 100,000 followers.
Yes.
And I only get like 500 retweets. Like, is there value to a brand or something like that? Or
yes.
What's the cost or something like that?
So the value the reason why a brand would approach somebody, an influencer,
Special people.
we are all influential in our spaces. So the reason why a brand would approach someone firstly is because that person has clearly, if 100,000 people are following you, there's something about you that they connect with, right? So the brand wants to then jump onto that connection, and they want to use that connection. And the reason, obviously, and also it's primarily because those people trust you. So when a brand approaches you, it's because they want to buy into that trust, they want to buy into that connection, and there's something between their message and what you put out that fits, right? So if I am, whatever, like I can't sell weave. I mean, like, that's not believable, right? That's not a believable thing.
Yeah.
So like a weave brand won't come to me, but maybe somebody that's doing something to do with, I'm a mom, and I talk a lot about being a mom, and I get a lot of engagement when I talk about being a mom. So a brand that does, I did something recently for Nappy Emporium. They do like these eco-friendly nappies, and I was busy potty training my son. So they were like, okay, cool, do you want to try out our stuff while you are doing that? So for me, that was a natural fit for both of us, because I do try to use eco-friendly things where I can, and I'm a mom. That's what I do. I mean, it's like I don't lie about that. It's like the most natural thing that it's easy for me to share. So people will connect with that. And in terms of money, I mean, there are platforms where you can actually put a value to how much a tweet costs, how much an Instagram post costs, like places like Webfluential is a very easy one. It's webfluential.com. You can just go there, plug in your social media handle, and then they'll calculate it for you, and they'll say, okay, it will cost $40, or it will cost $50 or $100 per tweet, and then
So actually, I can make money out of tweets.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll talk about that inside.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're still tuned into the Geeks Connect Show. We are interviewing one Miss. Is it Miss or Mrs.?
It's
Jeez.
Miss. My mother is Mrs. Ngqulana,
yeah.
not me.
Yeah. Yeah, here's your gig guide for the coming week or so. This weekend, when DR, the Northern Cape, the fourth annual Northern Cape Provincial Hackathon is happening. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. The provincial government is there, national government is there. All the gigs, the challenges, whole lot of tech stuff will be happening in there at the Solar Capital Community Training Center. So it will be happening from tomorrow until Sunday.
Yeah, so that's what you got lined up. And as a build up to that, there's the Ignite Hackathon. So if you still haven't registered for the Ignite Hackathon, time is really running up. So as much as it's not close by, it is what's now a week. 3 weeks from now. 3, 4 weeks.
Technically 4 weeks. Yeah, but head on to ignitehack.devpost.com. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
And then also on next week on the 7th, we are in the Eastern Cape, Rhodes University with National Treasury. So through the Vuleka Mali portal project, and we'll be getting young techies, young innovators, young economists, and so it will be all things budget, data, and they'll be coming up with new solutions, and also to verify if there is such a need for such a portal, and unlocking new innovative solutions around that.
So if you are in around that region, do spread the word and get the guys to come through so we can actually connect with them. But also we want to see how they come up with those solutions in terms of dealing with the budget area.
Yes, so that is the Ignite, hashtag budget hack. Hashtag Vuleka Mali with National Treasury.
So many
and,
hashtags.
and Imaliye too. Yeah. Yeah, let's get back to...
So many hashtags. Is that a problem?
It can be a challenge for people to keep in touch with what you're doing. So a good strategy is to have one overall one that speaks to that when people look you up, they can see a variety of things that you do. So one that, whatever. Like I think you've got hashtag geek culture. Right?
GK.
Hey?
I blame GK.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
I blame GK. I blame geek culture.
Ah, okay, sure. Is that something that people can easily connect with you?
Yes.
Okay. Then you have an overall one, and then the thing with hashtags is that it takes time for it to generate a following and people to understand what it means. So it helps if you give it time. So the reason why you would obviously have one overall one is to make sure that people can connect you to all these different things. But sometimes you do things, you're part of projects that are not yours, and you need to then co-opt other people's hashtags, or people, because they're paying you money to do a particular campaign, they're like, we want our own hashtag, so you have to concede there. But the one thing you should do is to try to obviously always incorporate your overall hashtag there, so that they know we are doing a thing with Absa now, we are doing a thing with Treasury, we are doing a thing with whatever. But your overall one should always be part of all the things that you do.
All right, and quickly wrapping up, I'm a young techie, so I'm starting my own little business or something like that. I want to get a bit of PR value. I want to get a bit of social media presence. I'm going to get the word out on what I'm working on. My budget is very limited. What are some of the best tools out there that one can use in terms of getting that PR space, getting that PR word, and pushing content using social media?
I think, the quickest thing to do is to really figure out quickly what is this thing that I'm selling. So be able to articulate that. I'm selling a bottle of water. Who needs to buy this bottle of water? It's ABC. Which platforms can I access these people, right? And if, for example, you use a platform like Facebook, it's good to, Facebook ads are so cheap, right? So you can run a campaign with 100 Rand, and and the Facebook algorithm, for example, now is not prioritizing pages. So if you open up a page, you have to push it, not just with posting, but with advertising, because Facebook is now trying to
make money out.
No, they're trying to go back to being a platform that connects people first. So they prioritize like posts between people over putting brands. So if you're a brand, you have to put money to get onto that news feed. So so it's just really to figure out what am I selling, who am I selling it to, and how am I going to share what I'm selling to those people, so that you know how to structure your interaction, so that every time you're on social media talking about the business, it is of value to you. And then the other thing that we're doing, I'm doing a class on Facebook every last Monday of the month during lunchtime, so people can join in on the PR Trends ZA Facebook page.
Where do you connect with you? Where do people connect with you?
So they can connect with me on Facebook, on Twitter, at Nelisa_Ngqulana, or my company at PR Trends ZA. It's probably easier to connect with my company because then you'll get a quicker response than on my personal one. I try to keep it personal on my personal one, not too much business. So we're doing that, especially for people who have like a lot of questions, because we get a lot of questions in the DM and all of that, and people are asking the same questions over and over again. So we just want to put it out so that everybody can see it. We share a lot of articles on our blog, especially like for entrepreneurs, because we know that a lot of people think they need a huge budget to do PR, but you don't. You need to literally think about your reputation and what kind of brand you want to be seen as right from the get-go.
All right. We have to end it there, unfortunately. Do follow up with what you're up to in Cape Town. Hashtag 2018 PSI hack. Hashtag 2018 PSI hack to see what type of solutions that the young techies in Cape Town are building. This is it. So from me, goodbye. I'm driving to the R just after this show.
Wait, no man.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
Definitely catch you guys next time, next week, next session. And thank you for our lovely guest here, for sharing the PR stance with us.
Thanks for having me.
With us. Okay. Anyway, thank you for coming through to the show. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll tell you all about the things we've been up to. Keep on keeping on.
Harnessing the power of talk radio. Brandlive.co.za